Imagine you're holding a lightsaber and a traffic cone, and you toss the traffic cone up in the air, and you thrash wildly and swing your lightsaber at the traffic cone. Whatever outline you see as you look at the sliced traffic cone is called a conic section. And this is the standard way that algebra teachers introduce conic sections. Wait, what? It's not the standard way? Okay, well, it's the way that this algebra teacher introduces conic sections, but there is a slight problem. Much as we might love lightsabers and traffic cones, we don't necessarily have an intuition for what's going to happen when we slice a traffic cone with a lightsaber. And so it might be useful if we had a different picture for what was going on. So I have here a cone. The equation of a cone is z squared equals x squared plus y squared. And the x squared plus y squared part, all you need to know is that's how we make circles. And so essentially a cone is a bunch of circles starting with the smallest possible radius at the center at what we call the origin, and then expanding either upward or downward from there. And then I've got this blue plane. This blue plane is going to be my lightsaber. If we kind of change the orientation of the cone, you can see that as we change how the lightsaber is tilted, it intersects with that cone in different ways. If we let our plane be completely parallel to like the center of the cone, we can see that the way it intersects the cone is in a perfect circle. As we tilt that plane up, it goes from being a perfect circle to what we call an ellipse, looks like an oval. If we tilt it upward enough, however, something interesting happens. It ceases being a circle or an ellipse at all, and it turns into what we call a parabola. It can be a little bit easier to see this if we turn on what's called a projection, or basically a shadow of this particular figure. Looking at this shadow now, we can tell, oh, actually that's not quite a parabola just yet. We would need to tilt up our plane just a little bit more to get that distinctive parabola shape. Looking at this sideways, you can tell, actually there's something important about how the plane is tilted right now. The plane is tilted perfectly parallel to the edge of the cone itself. That's the only time we would get that shape that we call a parabola. If instead we tilt it up even a little bit more, we end up with what kind of looks like a parabola on either side of our plane, but what in fact is the same shape called a hyperbola. And those are the main four things we're talking about when we talk about conic sections: a circle, an ellipse, a parabola, and a hyperbola. It's possible to get other conic sections out of this illustration. If we slice really carefully along the edge of the cone itself, we get straight lines rather than any kind of curved line. But for the most part, that's what teachers mean when we're talking about lightsabers, traffic cones, and conic sections.